You ever have it when you are so hangry that everything is wrong with the world and everything's falling apart? You ever, let's be honest, you ever have those moments and then you eat something and suddenly everything's at least manageable, right? The Israelites have been with God. He's brought them out of Egypt, out of slavery after all the 10 plagues, those powerful miracles. And then he set them free by setting off the Red Sea against the Egyptian army. And now the people are hungry. And understandably so, they're in the desert. It's not like there's an abundance of food around, but they immediately start to grumble, right? Or in more colloquial terms, they're not just grumbling, but there's a sense that they're in open rebel. They're ready to revolt and overthrow Moses and Aaron. And they're saying things like, remember when we were in Egypt and we had as much meat to eat as we wanted to, and the only reason you brought us out here is so that you could have us die in the desert. So overly dramatic, such a big problem, right? And we can understand their concern for not enough food, and like we can understand too on a much simpler level, like when we're hungry, we're not always ourselves, right? But there's something much deeper going on. There's this hunger thing is a symptom of a bigger issue. The people of Israel have unrealistic and unhealthy expectations about God. Maybe that's true for you and I sometimes. They've seen these miracles and then they've seen this Red Sea, and now it's as if they expect all this extravagant stuff is going to happen all the time. They've had an abundance of blessings in those ways, and they just expect that they deserve it now and this is how it's going to go. We have an abundance of food, an abundance of material goods, an abundance of ways that we can entertain ourselves. How quickly do we get bored? How quickly do we reach for a bag of snacks? How quickly do we purchase another material good on Amazon? We just expect, because we live in a period of abundance, we expect all these things are going to happen. So if there's ever a time when we face adversity and God prepares and gives to us enough faithfulness for that day, we feel like it's not enough. We're starving. We can't handle it. We can shift pretty quickly from gratitude, as the Israelites were grateful of God's victory in the Red Sea, quickly shift from gratitude to grumbling, just like the Israelites. That our expectation is that God is going to give exactly what we want, when we want, in an abundance. And I wonder if it's helpful for us to think about the way that God used the desert in giving to the people manna, food, one day at a time, enough for each day. One manna at a time, God was showing them that he was going to be faithful, that they weren't always going to have an abundance of everything that they wanted. And for those of us who have ever been in situations where we are deeply hungry or we are longing, the smallest portion of manna of God's grace means so much to us. Take a moment and just appreciate the ways that God has been faithful to you in this day. What is the manna that he has given to you? Whether it's an opportunity at work, it's a phone call from a friend, whether it's a chance to have a good conversation with one of your kids or a spouse, whatever it might be. There are plenty of ways that God has shown himself faithful to you if you look for it and you pick up that manna. One manna at a time, God is faithful. Thanks for checking out this video. We hope that we will see you again sometime soon. Until then, God's peace to you.